Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host CDB, or you can call me Chris, and today we're going to use the gold dollar. I believe this is the 200. Yes, 200, honed by the Stallion. And this shave is just for enjoyment. I haven't prepared any talking points, any costs on the soap, anything at all. We're going to be using KShaveWorx Penny Lane Barbershop, which was sent to me by viewer Marion. Thank you, Marion. I really like the scent of this. This is really, to me, sort of a strawberry barbershop, or at least that's what it says on their strawberry. I'm not giving you the cost, the ingredients, and all that. Again, this is just for fun. One of the things I want to mention was, people ask me whether I store my brush this way or this way. When I'm drying the brush, I store it this way. Once it is dry, I put it on a shelf this way. Let me show you why. If you put water in your brush, where does that water go? It's dripping down. If I put water in my knot and I'm holding it this way, where's the water going? You're seeing it. It's running down the handle this way. Gravity. Gravity is a real thing, folks. What happens to your brush if you don't let it dry? I'm going to take some pictures of this and I'll roll it in, but I'll try to show you here too. You see those white deposits right there? That is from when I used to set my brush like this. I would towel dry it, set it like this, and water goes down the brush and pools in the bottom, creating those deposits. Now, I can clean this up with a toothbrush, but I just wanted to show you why I hang it this way, because the water, regardless of capillary action, I know people will talk about that. Trust me, this is what happens, or can happen, depending on the type of water you have, when you set it this way when it's not completely dry. That water can run down, it pools at the bottom, and it collects. Also, in this crevice here, there were deposits. That's water running down and pooling. So to me, that's just common sense. Okay, let's load up here while we're talking. I hope everyone had a great Saturday yesterday. It was a really nice weather day. My wife and I were sitting outside, drinking a few adult beverages, enjoying the nice weather. And today's shave is just for enjoyment. We're going to do straight shave number 9 and just try to continue to improve a little bit. I do want to mention, I have a couple of bumps on my neck right there. So if I nick those, if I get a little weeper, I'm not counting it because there are bumps there and I'm probably likely to hit them, I would imagine, but no problem. We will persevere and press on. Again, hope everyone had a great Saturday and is having a great weekend. I am. The weather is taking a turn for the better, finally. It's been raining. In March, we had a beautiful month. It was quite warm. There were days in the 80s. But in April, it was terrible. It rained most of the time. It was cold. There were only a few days of sunshine, and even then it was in the 60s and sometimes 70s. March was a warmer month for us than April was, which is really not the norm. And so we've got a decent load here. Let us set that aside. I'm going to grab our spray bottle and wet the face. And I really like this spray bottle. The reason why is because I think that when you spray it that way, in a mist form, it tends to hang on to your face more. So if you splash it, it runs off. And I just think it does a little better of staying on when you mist it. And again, I've seen Jim Combs and the Synth Soldier shaves use that technique, but I'm also told that Jeremy Tyler has also done it, although not on YouTube. So I'd never seen him doing it, and then he commented on one of his videos that a year or so ago, he was doing it on live videos. So I don't know who the first person was to do it, but I just commented on who I've seen doing it, Jim Combs and Synth Soldier, Tim Delaney, but also Jeremy Tyler has been doing it as well. And it works quite well, I think. It's not gonna hurt, you know. Again, I think sometimes when you splash water on it, it runs down, whereas this seems to hang around, at least from my perspective, a little bit more on your face. So I really like that. We're gonna apply a little more before we start lathering. And we'll get going with our Penny Lane Barbershop, again sent by viewer Marion. Thank you very much, Marion. I really appreciate that. Smells great. I really like this scent, strawberry barbershop scent. And as you can see there, no problem with the lathering. I've loaded it and it's just covering quite easily. Let's get some more moisture going here. because that is key with straight razor shaving, not so much with DEs. At least for me, I think you can get away with a lot when you're shaving with DEs, or at least I can. Not so much with straights. I have to be a little more careful with the moisture, or level of moisture in my lather with straights. And you can tell immediately when you don't have moisture in it. The lather can become a liability if you're not careful, and we certainly don't want that to happen. So we will get started today. My hands are still a little bit wet there. We don't want that. Again, starting today with our gold dollar. One of the things I need to do, I can't see quite as well with that, with this eye peripherally. Okay. You can really hear that gold dollar cutting, I think. A little too high up there. Cutting quite well so far. For anybody who says you can't shave with the gold dollar, you can. This one is honed, quite nicely. And now I know Chris Maiden, I should say, got one, and he didn't really care for the, the blade wasn't for him. I think the edge, he didn't really think it was as refined as he would like. I'm gonna drop that one finger back because I can't see over there. There we go. And there is that side. And the odd thing here is I can actually see better. It must be just my vision. I can see better on this side. One of the things I've been noticing is guys like Dave Card and others sometimes take longer strokes, and that actually feels better to me. I don't need to make as many short, choppy strokes. And honestly, that is somewhat, I would say, common sense. There we go. If you're taking short, choppy strokes, you're putting the blade to your face, many more times. And the chances for getting a cut there, in my view, is greater just by virtue of putting your blade to the face. Every time you put this blade to your face, you have to be careful and cognizant of what you're doing. Stretch that just a little bit. Okay, we'll call that pass number 1. Not a thing of beauty by any stretch of the imagination, but we're doing what we need to do. Let's just bring, what I try to do with this remaining lather here is just sort of pull it down on my face. No need to rinse it off and waste it, in my opinion, especially with a straight razor. You don't have to worry about it clogging like a DE or anything like that. So I just pull the lather down a little bit, and then we'll reapply our lather. And that was a good, nice, smooth first pass. Honestly, this gold dollar feels really good as far as the way it's honed. So Stallion, really excellent job on the honing. Let's get some water in the fray here. There we go. Now there we go. Anyway, feels good, the gold dollar. Very inexpensive. I think the issue with the gold dollar, for those of you who are new, and I'm speaking as a novice myself, but based on my understanding, is a lot of times they're warped straight from the factory. The geometry has to be corrected. So it has to come from a home meister that you trust. So you just can't get one that says it's shave ready from, some store you're not familiar with. You'd have to get it from someone like the Stallion or Frank Misa or someone who does all these corrections and actually takes metal off the razor to make it shaveable. Because sometimes, straight from the folks you purchase them from, they can be an absolute mess. You know, they're sold not shave ready and all out of whack, and a lot of adjustments have to be made. So keep that in mind. If you see a gold dollar for just a few bucks, chances are you're probably going to have that worked on. And so I certainly would not buy a gold dollar and expect it to be shave ready unless it's coming from a Honemeister that you trust. Like I said, in this case, it's Anthony Esposito, and I've tried several of his edges now, and I like his edges, so I trust him to, you know, I trust that if you're getting one from the Stallion, it's going to be right. Like I said, Chris Maiden was probably an outlier on that one. He just, you know, I think he had been using the Feather Artist Club 2, and that blade's not going to feel like a straight razor because, you know, it's a machined, man-made edge. And so, you know, expectations could be a part of that issue. It does take some time to adjust to this style of blade because it's not a machined edge. Right here's where. I'm hearing something beep. I don't know what that is. I've also had a fly buzzing around or a bee or something in here, and I hear it every now and then. It's driving me crazy. So if you hear that, let's clean this area up a little bit. Definitely hearing something beep. I don't know what it is. See if I can pull that a little bit. Need to stretch right there. You see how that skin was? I was just trying to use the very heel of the blade there. I think that might be my phone. Stand by for a minute. All right, something is beeping somewhere. I don't know what it is, so we're not going to worry about it. Just reapplying a little moisture because that's bound to be drying up a little bit there. And let's go with our left hand here a little bit. Do you hear that? I don't know if you can hear that beeping, but it's annoying me. Something outside. I don't know what it is. Still don't fully trust my left hand. Again, in case I haven't mentioned it in this video, I am learning, so I don't have great dexterity with my non-dominant hand, which is left, and so I'm trying to develop a little bit of dexterity with it. And I'm finding that, so those of you who are watching, the Stallion, Dave Card, Maddie, I'm trying to use the heel, but I'm having trouble because my hand is in the way. You see here? So I'm not getting that heel as close as I would like to. So if you have any tips for getting that area, I'm open to it. And again, folks, there's nothing wrong with asking for help and asking for tips as you're learning. I'm gonna just come at that from a little bit different direction because it's hard to get from that direction. So we'll try it a different way here. So is that what you would normally do? You would just come at it from that direction, or I'm not actually sure. Because when I try to get the heel close, my hand is in the way. So I can't get too close here where I'm trying to actually touch that area up a little bit. So let's get it right there a little bit. So let me know what you think the right technique is for that. That feels perfectly fine. That there I re-lathered over, so I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so we're going to call it again. Very, very comfortable. The edge was great, Stallion. So you've done a great job on this edge, no problem at all. We're going to set this to the side. We will rinse, and then we will come back and get into the post. Stay tuned. And all right, we're back with our Lancaster RazorWorks towels, which they sold out like that yesterday. I wanted to get a blue one and a red one, was not able to, and I was there right at noon. And I had a red one in my cart, and by the time I checked out, it was gone. The blue was already gone. So I knew they would sell out quickly. In fact, I was talking to Andre, I believe his name is, earlier in the week. We were talking about it, and I said, they're going to sell out like that. He's like, well, I only made a certain amount of the blue and red because I wanted to see what demand was. Well, I said, my prediction, they will sell out quick, and they did within just minutes. So here's our Humphreys Witch Hazel. Put in a misting bottle, which I dig. And we're gonna never miss an opportunity. If you are a head shaver, hit that dome too. There's no reason to miss an opportunity to apply this glorious stuff to the dome if you're a head shaver. All right. That feels very nice. We really had a good shave. Again, we're going to figure out how to get a little closer here. I can do it from the side coming in, but I just want to know from you straight razor shavers if on the upward stroke there's a way to get a little tighter there. Hand gets in the way, so let me know. We use the Penny Lane Barbershop, no problem whatsoever. Really nice scent. Scent strength 6 to 7. Strawberry. If you like fruity scents, very, very nice. Thank you, Marion. I really appreciate it. Our West Coast Shaving two-tone brush is terrific. And again, as you can see, if you set it down on its butt when it's still wet, even if you dry it off a little, you see those deposits? That's what happens. So take my word for it. It can and will happen, or at least it's happened to me. We use the Gold Dollar 200, honed by Anthony Esposito. Really, really nice. That's a good edge on there. Really, really nice. And we're going to finish off today with Stirling Satsuma, which is fantastic tangerine. I think it's tangerine type for the inspector. A little more aftershave there. Oh man, I'm telling you, inspector, you got to get this Satsuma. You're going to love it. That smells so good. Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of the Mao tangerine. But man, we're going to go for another. This just smells so doggone good. Man, oh man. Beautiful. Thanks everybody for joining today. I didn't have a bunch of stuff prepared, soap costs. I just wanted to have an enjoyable shave. So I didn't do my homework today, and it was really enjoyable for me. Straight razor shave number 9. No nicks, cuts, creepers, weepers, irritation. We'll call it a plus. Until next time, I want to remind you, it's your shave, do it your way, and God bless you all.